Elgin Radio World and welcome to my review for As Below, So Below. This is the brand new found footage horror adventure movie that's recently hit the UK cinemas and US cinemas in the past week or so. I've been in fact I've seen this movie twice now and I'm going to see it again for the third time this week. I have to address my thoughts and opinions on this movie to give you guys, basically what I think of the movie, what it is properly, as a found footage fan, as a horror fan, as a movie goer, and to basically address certain issues that people have been giving this movie. There's been a lot of negative reviews on different sites, not only on YouTube from some of the big reviewers, but from Rotten Tomatoes and things like that. The movie is not for everybody, I suppose, but it definitely does not deserve the class of worst movie of the year, as some reviews have been putting it. This is from the director of Quarantine, the remake, Poughkeepsie Tapes and Devil, which was a well-directed movie, just a bad script from M. Night Shyamalan, of course. I definitely think this is one of the better found footage movies of this year for sure. It's a really well done horror adventure movie. Considering we've had Devil's Due for a cinema movie this year, a movie which practically promised a lot from its trailer and a lot from its expectation from the directors of VHS, one of the VHS shorts. That was a massive disappointment, a slap in the face. I think the found footage genre itself has been more stronger on the VOD on market recently for this year, and of course we've had some great ones this year, of course Inflicted and The Den and things like that. I think this is definitely a really good experience, definitely for a cinema movie, definitely one of the better horror movies to be released at the cinema, being the fact this is like the 8th month of this year now and we haven't had a really good decent horror movie. And this one's kind of an adventure horror crossover hybrid in a sense, in a way. The storyline follows As Below, So Below, as our main female actress, which basically is trying to find the Philosopher's Stone, which, before you laugh, I know, was done the idea of the Philosopher's Stone was around way before J.K. Rowling's used it for Harry Potter, of course, and the idea of this stone, basically giving people the power to become immortal practically and things like that. And she's trying to complete her father's research, which committed suicide. She herself is very intelligent, she's very smart, she's got lots of qualifications, things like that. And she's just trying to avenge her father's work and trying to prove an historical value. She's not after financial gain, she doesn't want to sell it, whatnot. She just wants to prove it exists and complete her father's work and basically just give closure, and I like that. That was a good, strong character development with motivation. And she's not stupid. She actually is quite smart. She thinks on her feet. She's not blind to it. She's gonna, focus on each character and say you okay, things like that. And she's determined. That's what she is. She's determined to find it. And basically, her research throughout the movie leads towards the French catacombs. Basically, to find this, you have to go deep underground, a certain miles underground. And they eventually come across the gates of hell in a sense. They have to face their fears, face their sins, and to find this kind of object in a sense. I'm not going to give it too much because I want you to experience the movie if you do go around to watching it. And I think the storyline itself was really well done. It reminds me of the Borderlands. I love a found footage movie that was released this year. It's good, lots of good myths and historical history behind it. It's a really well done movie, I think, perfectly honest. Being the fact this is all set actually in the French catacombs and filmed underground, you can definitely tell the claustrophobic edge to the lighting was all naturally done from the GoPro cameras that were put on top of their heads. I thought the filming style was really well done, in terms of actually giving you a creepy environment, definitely, especially when they're underground. It's very all tight and narrow, things like that. You can definitely feel it from the characters. For sure. I felt the storyline edge throughout the first, good portion of the movie was very interesting, and there's only suggestions of, horror elements. There's some creepy thing going on, lots of good use of sound, definitely for sure, some good imagery, and it's just very interesting. It's like an Indiana Jones adventure one, it reminds me of the first Indiana Jones movie in a sense, trying to find something of historical value, and but paying the price basically by finding it in a sense. I like that, and I'm not going to give away too much. I would say it's definitely better, even more so a second time around, because you do pick up on more things, you do find more stuff what's going on, and the horror element to the last act of the movie is really fantastic. I felt it's very hard hitting, it's very creepy, lots of personal demons there for sure, and it's all filmed very well, it's all execution very well. I would say it's not like, the trailers make it out to be like a full-on flush, like descent horror kind of thing like that, but it's nothing really like the trailers make it out to be. The trailer aspect of it is more in the last half of the movie, which is fine, but the first half is excellent. It's like Tomb Raider meets Grave Encounters with the descent setting in it for sure. You know, it's a really good mix between adventure and horror clash into one with historical history into it. Strong characters as well, even though some characters are expendable, which other people have been saying, which is absolutely true. Because there's got to be a decent body count within the movie. You do, find out enough about them, just enough within the start of the movie to know about them and their past and what their characters are like and their personalities, and you can say, yeah, I actually like that character. Oh, I'm surprised to see that character go. And the movie is generally surprising who manages to live and die and things like that. So it's definitely a very intense, very well put together found footage movie that does make sense. It does have a decent story. It's all relevant together. It's just like, I think for some fans and some people out there, the jump scares, some of the cliches are in the movie, of course, but it doesn't, make the movie bad or anything. It's just playing a bit safe in some places, which all leads to a very satisfying conclusion, a very satisfying ending. I was very happy with it myself. I thought it was different than most kind of found footage movies do and most horror movies do, to be perfectly honest, and it makes sense. And I actually had a really good experience with it. For people that are saying that it's one of the worst movies of this year, for one, people saying it's terrible characters or the story doesn't make any sense. One reviewer said that the opening act, the first section, had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. They simply haven't watched the movie, or they're not paying attention. Just because it's under a certain genre of found footage doesn't make it a piece of crap. There is really bad movies of this year for sure, but when they do it right, they do them right. And this one was a very entertaining movie. Good atmosphere, good character development, good concept. Exactly what I wanted to see at the cinema, and I had a good time watching it, and I'm watching it again later this week. That's my thoughts and opinions, folks, on As Below So Below. Lots of thoughts and opinions, guys. So meantime, Andrew T, signing out.